Welcome back to Hannity. Joining us now is Jennifer Thalasinos. Now, her husband, Nicholas, was one of the victims of last week's deadly terrorist attack in California. Jennifer, our thoughts and prayers are with you, your husband, your family. I can't imagine how difficult this is for you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Hannity.
I know this is very tough for you. There had been some reports that your husband and Saeed Farouk had discussed issues involving radical Islam and Israel. What do you know about that?
I know my husband discussed religion and Israel with a lot of different people, including Saeed, and I'm not sure exactly what kind of conversations took place, but as far as I know, they were not huge heated discussions. If they were, my husband didn't say anything, but as far as I know, up until when this happened, there hadn't been any signs that Saeed had become radicalized or anything like that.
But he did know Saeed. He did know, and he did have discussions with him, and I'm sure he knew by that point that he was probably fairly at least radical in his views, if not radicalized.
Right. My husband knew that Saeed was a very devout Muslim. I know they had discussions about Israel in particular and about whether Islam was a religion of peace or not. But my husband wasn't the type to want to, like, instigate a fight. He would have just had discussions about it. But I know that they completely disagreed on Israel.
Do you believe that maybe your husband was the person targeted by these two people?
Yes, I do. Because of my husband being Messianic Jew and because of the discussions, I think the shooter was intending on getting my husband. I also think some of the other people that were killed were also intended targets because of their religious views and because of discussions that they had with the shooter as well. And
your husband dressed as a Messianic Jew. He wore a yarmulke, for example, and did he have any other identifying clothing?
No, he didn't wear a yarmulke, but he wore the tzitzits, the tassels on the belt loops.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
he also wore the tie clip with the Star of David on it. So it was pretty obvious that he was of some Jewish faith.
Yeah.
And like I said, we were Messianic Jews.
You know, there was a woman on Facebook that wrote you a note and said that my name is Moreno. I work at this particular place where your husband worked. I had not met your husband before. I only worked there 7 months. We worked in different offices. I need to tell you he played a vital role in my survival. I laid on the floor next to your husband when he had already been injured, and his last words to me were to get under the table, which I did. I wanted you to know how great he was up to the last moment of his life. I am so sorry for your loss. My most sincere condolences. Please let me know if you need anything, and God bless you. I've got to imagine, even through all the pain you're living through now, that gives you some degree of comfort that your husband was reaching out to help others.
That gave me a lot of comfort. I had said from the beginning when I found out that I knew my husband, the type of person he was, he would be trying to help other people. And the fact that he was able to help this woman, I knew that was the type of person my husband was, and I'm just grateful that somebody was there with him in his last moments.
I hate to even bring this up, but I want to give you an opportunity to respond. There's been some horrible headlines in one of the New York tabloids called the Daily News attacking your husband, and the headline was, for example, Linda Stasi is the columnist, and it says San Bernardino killers were radical, ISIS-loving monsters, but one of their victims was just as bigoted. And then as part of her column, she said, Thalasinos was an anti-government, anti-Islam, pro-NRA, rabidly anti-Planned Parenthood kind of guy. Now, to your knowledge, has your husband ever gone into a room of people and randomly started shooting anybody?
Of course not. My husband was one of the gentlest people you would have ever met. He was friendly with everybody. Yes, he did have his opinions. He was very conservative. He was very pro-Israel. He was pro-life. He was outspoken about that, but he never sought out arguments with people. He was always kind to everybody, and everybody I know that knew him, and I've had people coming up from Facebook and other places that they knew him, people on Facebook that knew him in person, that have been talking to me, and they have nothing but good things to say about him.
If you believe he was targeted in this attack because of these discussions that he had with the terrorist Saeed Farouk, has law enforcement come to you and asked you anything about this? Anything about these discussions?
They haven't yet, but I did hear on one of the press conferences they had today that the FBI was going to be probably going around to talk to the victims' families. So I have a feeling if that's true, they will definitely be coming around to talk to me.
I know this is a painful time for you and your family. Please know that our audience, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your husband, and this should not happen on American soil. We need to keep America safer. Thank you for being with us, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much.